Welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker here with a black tea to try a Chinese black tea. And go ahead and get it out of the package into the gaiwan, ready to steep here. Scooping out enough, cover the bottom inch and a half diameter of my 3-ounce gaiwan here. Raking out a little bit more to cover that area. That looks good. Water's been brought to an early boil, started to rumble, not a full rolling boil though. So I'm going to get this. I want to add enough water so a little bit is going to rest just above the rim of the lid when I put it on. That looks just nice. Get this water out of the way and talk about this tea. This is from Teavivre. This is a golden monkey black tea. Teavivre's product page says that this is the same as a Bailin Gongfu, which is also a black tea. It is, you can get 14 grams, which is 2 7-gram packages. A sample size is what that constitutes for $2, $2 US. What else can I tell you? This is from Fuding in Fujian province of China. Product page information also indicates that this was harvested March 29th, 2013. And yeah, as I mentioned, they are saying this is the same as a Bailin Gongfu, another black tea from Fujian province. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk about this tea. Get starting with the dry leaf, moving on to the wet leaf and then the liquor. First off, I want to give it a smell here before I scoop it out just yet. It has a lot of the how should I say? I sometimes find these characteristics with some Yunnan black tea, Dianhong styles, but I think generally more often is with the Fujian black tea styles, and that is a raisiny type component. There's a raisin type smell there, which is pleasant. With that, there's a kind of a malty type of smell, which is nice. So those two go well together. I mean, there's the raisin, the toasty, the malty. To combine that, I think of like a raisin bran type cereal. You know, the bran wheaty flakes, the raisins in there combined. So that's one of the more dominant notes that's coming off of this. Let me scoop out this and look at the leaves for a moment. Leaves are wiry, twisted along the length of the middle vein of the leaf. Some are an inch or more in length, like this one here. Others smaller than that. You do have golden, fuzzy tips here. And at a glance here in my spoon, a glance here in the sample size here, the golden fuzzy aspect is less than 20%. I would say closer to 10%. So it's got more of the bister, dark gray brown looking leaves in there. More mature leaves than that fuzzy needle type component there. So setting that to the side, I'm going to get ready to pour, get my pitcher ready, angle my lid over to the side thusly, and pour. There we go. Nice smooth pour. Didn't get any leaves that slipped through, so I had a nice smooth opening. It allowed the liquor to pour through, didn't allow the leaves to escape, but was allowed enough. There was enough airflow so it breathed and didn't dribble out either. So that was nice. Let me give this a shake, loosen those leaves up a little bit, and give it a smell here now. Still, the raisin grape smells. It's getting close to grape skin type of smells. Red globe, table grape type of smells was what hit me just then. Malty smell still coming off too. So generally sweet, warm, baked bread type of smells also can be found in there to a certain degree. Let me pull out a few leaves. Here's a leaf here. It hasn't fully unfurled, which bodes well that subsequent steepings will have something there, that these leaves haven't completely unfurled and released all of their flavor components in the first steep. Another leaf here, half of a leaf looks like. Got some thickness, resiliency to it there. Not a ragged looking leaf along the edges though, but you can see it's kind of consistent in color. Even oxidation taking place there. Let me kind of dig around here. And look for what was a bud or a delicate brand new leaf, one of those ones that would have been probably golden color, fuzzy looking. Here's an example of a leaf that's kind of could tease it flat. It was curled in on itself as a new leaf that hasn't fully opened yet. Anything else here worth pulling out? Another little needle bud type, probably one of those golden aspects there. And yeah, a lot of these are leaf portions. A lot of the larger pieces were not intact leaves. A lot of the more mature leaves are not coming out intact, but as portions, usually half of a leaf. Let me kind of press that down so it stays flat instead of curling back up again. Set that to the side and get to the liquor now. Give that a swirl so the liquor can be seen. It's a nice, rich, deep brown red, and moving you could even say towards a kind of a plummish purple type color, somewhat in this light at least. Still the malty, raisiny notes coming out the strongest here. Get that pour. Looks nice in the cup as well, not murky, cloudy. Those notes, still raisiny, still raisin bran-like, maltiness coming out too. What else? Texture's nice. Texture. Some of these types of Golden Monkey, Bailin Gongfu, Fujian black teas, they can get kind of minerally. They can get kind of sour, so that when you swallow and they sit on your stomach, there's this grumbly, empty stomach kind of growling type of activity going on. This one, so far, okay, on the tongue so far, less of the mineral, thin, watery type aspect. It's got to be a bit of a silken aspect to it. A bit of sweetness along the outer edges, sides of my tongue. Something going on there. So it does have, it's generating this kind of light, juicy type of feel there. Aftertaste gives me that impression of, a bit of an impression of kind of a malty, dry type of feel, along with, underneath that, this impression that I just swallowed a mouthful of raisins. There's still a little bit of that raisiny aspect picking up in the end there. Off-camera steepings. I got a bit more of the mineral aspect if this is steeped too long for extended periods. Extended periods being 4 minutes or more probably. But overall, looking at this tea, all the components in this particular steep, and what I got in some steepings off camera, like I did two subsequent steeps, and I had a brief initial steep, and then I extended the second steep. initial briefer steepings generally yield a bit smoother aspect, a bit more of a silken texture, less of the minerally harsh type notes that can come with over steeping. So this tea gets middle of the range. It can get overdone, say more easily than some other black teas I've looked at, some other Fujian blacks. I would give this one an 89. Nice components. When it's treated with respect or treated properly, it gives a pleasant cup. So come back to Walker Tea Review to look for those pleasant cups and find the ways that best draw out those pleasant cups.